But my friends, if you broke up or he broke up with you, the reason why people go separate ways is because something did not work. And if you're going back and you're not changing foundation of what's not working, you're gonna break up again. And that's why, again, I highly recommend for you to watch 6 Stages, How to Create a Happy and Lasting Relationship, to see where you made a mistake. Did you sleep in with him on the 4th, 5th, or 6th date? And that means you built a relationship on sexual desire. And that means you'll come back and you'll do the same thing and it will fail again. Or you did not allow him to be in an uncertainty stage. That means he wants to be gone and really see, does he develop his feelings for you, but you're bombarding him with text messages and telling him, are we back, are we together, are we boyfriend and girlfriend, are we in relationship? And I don't know where, in which stage you felt, and that's why your relationship was bumpy. And so what I'm trying to say, before coming back to your ex or taking your ex back or dating again, ladies, gentlemen, learn how to make a relationship work. You need to have a formula. If you don't have a formula, it's like driving a car without having a driver license and having a rules, and you will bump and you will have an accident and you'll have an accident and again until you will learn how to make a relationship work. We don't have a blueprint anymore in our modern days. Everybody just makes a relationship based on looks, chemistry, sexual desire, and etc. You get the point. But you cannot make a relationship based on our genitals. We need to learn how to do it, and there's step-by-step guide, and I'm teaching you how. So I hope that helps. How come he doesn't take care of his health, like taking medication? Most of the men, by the way, don't want to take care of their health. Something about medicine doctors is freaking them out. We're not going to go into details about it, but they're stubborn. They think they can conquer it. And by the way, it's not a bad thing because they rely on themselves because they're naturally much, much stronger than we are. We're typically very fragile. Not all women, but majority of women. Somebody sneezes, we have stress because we're working, we get a cold or flu. Men are typically not like that. And if he doesn't want to take his medication, that means either he really believes that he can overcome that, and if he will start taking medicine, he will send himself a message that I am failing myself, that I cannot conquer this problem. And so instead of pushing him and babying him, take your medicine, leave him alone and trust that he will figure it out. Because we as a women influence our men when we are doing, again, affirmation, meditation, or prayer. When we do that, we are trusting and sending the message that everything gonna work out. I trust you. You are the leader in the family. So I hope that answers. What are good ways to validate our husband meanwhile working on our personal spiritual journey? Beautiful question. Validation, acknowledgement, and appreciation of a man has to happen on a daily basis. You pet your dogs or your cats every day, don't you? And that's why your cats and dogs are happy. The same thing with us humans. Your husband comes home, you greet him, and you gotta know the language of your husband, but I'll tell you, 99% of the men will appreciate a home meal, you cooking. You made it, he finished it, and you say, honey, I just want to thank you. Thank you for working so hard today, for providing for us, for taking care of us. I had such a beautiful day walking outside thanks to you. And in this tone, you acknowledge him every day. You don't acknowledge man for dressing nice. You can say, honey, you look sexy. But this is not acknowledgement, it's a compliment. You acknowledge man for the action he does. Him going to work and paying bills. It's not you once a month acknowledge. Every day. Before meal, after meal. But typically men will hear you only after they finish eating and do this. He's full. He's done. That's when he can actually hear you. And you can start acknowledging him. And again, it's not like, thank you for going for work. Thank you for paying bills. No, you take your time. How you would like to hear, you're so beautiful, honey. You're my queen. You're so sexy. I am so lucky to have you in my life. That's the way men should talk to a woman. The same way you take your time and you say, you're my king. I am proud of you. Thank you for taking care of our kids. Thank you for going to work so we can have this home, so we can enjoy this lifestyle, so we can go to vacation. And you do that in a different form. You have to be creative on a daily basis. Really great question. Someone is saying, Alisa, watching your videos made me realize that I can give so much more to help people. Absolutely. And this is what our Creator wants from us, because otherwise we're living like a very selfish creatures. Cats, dogs, squirrels, wolves, lions, they go hunting, they eat, so we're like them, we're eating. They go home to their cave or tree and they sleep like we do. They mate, we have sex like them. But the only difference between us and animals is our consciousness. And God gave us consciousness to connect to Him and to make a difference with people. And if we don't do that, we're living like animals pretending that we're smarter. But then look at us. Stop working on your partners. Please, again, I can highlight it and write it down for you. Do not work on your partners. Stop trying to change them. Stop trying to motivate your men. Work on yourself. When you become humble, loving, kind, compassionate, spiritual, feminine, your man will be inspired to provide more, to work more, to protect more, to take care of you, to take care of kids, take you to vacation, buy you diamonds, whatever that you want. But stop changing them. The problem is not men. The problem is with us. Hearts back to you, my friends, because until you become the best version of yourself, you cannot impact, you cannot influence anyone. The reason why most men and women suffer right now is because 90% women went to masculine energy. Masculine energy meaning she's working, independent, career-oriented, making money, and she lost all of her femininity. And feminine power is in influencing a man to change, influencing men to go this direction and not that. And the only way you can do that when you become feminine. And when you're feminine, men will do anything for you. When you're submissive, but the submissive not in a way that he abuses you and you say, yeah, thank you, keep beating me up more. No, this is stupidity. I'm meeting in submission. I am submissive woman. You will never even think of that. But if my husband says, when he is frustrated and upset, we're gonna do this, I'm not gonna argue, say, sure, honey, even though I know he's wrong. 2-3 days later, I see he's in a good mood, all the stress from work is gone. I'm gonna start gently talking to him and say, honey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And I'm gonna get him to the point, understanding that this is the best decision. And then a month later, he comes to me and says, you know, I decided that we're gonna do it this way. Even though it was my decision. But the way I influenced him is by questioning him, asking gently questions and not battling him and not telling him, no, you're wrong, we're gonna do it this way. And that is the beauty and power of a woman. Being feminine, being kind, being compassionate, being present, being kind, loyal, and any man will do anything for this kind of woman. I hope that answers the question. Is it weird for my husband to want me to rub his head like his grandmother used to when he was a kid? No. Every man has their own thing. And your man is honest. He said, rub my head. Wonderful. That means when you're rubbing his head, he remembers his grandmother that he used to love, obviously. And he feels calm. He feels at peace. And this is his language of love. You feeding him and rubbing his head. Keep doing that. Yeah. To other men, it will be something else or something else. And so, absolutely, if you love your husband, why not? To make him happy, rub his head. Please do that. My 15-year-old daughter has been very negative. I taught her to be grateful, but she goes back. Obviously, you're having a problem with your teenager. Friends, and I shared that before and I'll share it now. After age of 13, teenagers are basically think of themselves as an adults. They don't take parents seriously. And if you continue trying to treat her as a child when she was 8 or 10 or 12, she's gonna rebel. During this time, you should switch being, instead of a parent to her, being a friend. And therefore, you have to be now wise enough to think, would you tell your girlfriend, be wise, don't drink, don't go meet boys, don't have sex? You don't talk like that. You don't tell them what to do. You're not their mom. You are talking to her as a girlfriend, and you tell her, I see that you like to drink alcohol. Why do you drink alcohol? Oh, because I'm stressed. I hate my this and this and this and that. And you say, I'm so sorry you're going through that. I hear you. That's why you're drinking alcohol. You're bringing understanding and compassion, don't you, to your girlfriend? The same thing you gotta do to the teenagers. If you use authority, she's gonna rebel and she's gonna turn to her friends. And you know how teenagers, what kind of advice they give to each other, not the best advice. And so if you can become a friend, you can influence your daughter. But otherwise, you're going to continue disconnecting, and she's going to be not just ungrateful, but she's going to become more bitter, upset, angry, and continue to disconnect with you. So detach from the attachment and expectations that she should be grateful. That stage is gone. And so listen to my lecture called How to Raise Kids 5 to 12, 12 and up. So for you, the part 12 and up will be really great to listen to for an hour or so. The lecture is on YouTube, and you're going to get so much how to raise a teenage daughter. Thank you for that. I love my wife, but sometimes I bumped guys that she slept with, and I feel bad and my heart breaks. By the way, the worst thing a woman can do to a man is to tell him how many guys she slept with, and on top of it, who she slept with. Friends, even if your man is asking you how many guys you slept with, this is one thing that you never, ever, ever answer. This is your dirty secret, and you're going to keep it to your grave. He had other women. You had other men. It's none of the businesses. You're not dating the past. You're living in the present. And so your wife violated you, or you violated her by asking this question, because a man should never know how many skeletons she has in the closet. It's none of your business. And now you know, of course you suffer. So I don't know if she was stupid enough to tell you or you were silly enough to ask her. And now, of course, it's going to be difficult for you. And ideally, I hope that she's not friends with them, because you can never be friends with exes. Because an ex, at any point, if he's going to start talking to your wife or your husband, could become a person who can be sleeping again with someone, because man and woman can never be friends. If a man is trying to talk to a woman, it's because he slept with her in the past, he's sleeping with her now, or he wants to sleep with her in the future. But otherwise, men not going to invest time, energy, and money. And so with you now, I hope you can move not to see her exes, or at least she's not friends with them, so you are not bumping into her exes. But again, that's going to be a really good lesson learned for you, not to ever ask this question. Yeah. Is there a difference between God and Creator? For me, God is internal, Creator was mortal. No, when I mean Creator is God. Yeah, it's just some people feel very defensive when I say God, so that's why I say infinite power, I will say Creator, but I really refer it to God, because some people cannot even hear Creator, they need to hear universe, because they're so disconnected from God. And so when I refer Creator, higher power, it means all God, but it just, to some people, it really hurts their ears because they had a negative experience somehow. Because sometimes when parents are pushing their kids to go to church instead of having fun, and they're battling them and demanding that they go to church, kids grow up and they rebel against God. That's why a person has to have such a positive way of introducing God and spiritual conversation to children. How our son learns is he sees me praying or doing the meditation, and that's how he learns about our Creator. And then he asks me a question, and then I answer, and that's how he's now at the point where before he goes to bed, he says, Mom, let's pray together. I say, let's do it. And not pushing, not demanding, not making kids like, no, you will go to church. No, you have to pray, or you have to do this. How can I feel that we have spiritual connection with partner? You don't recognize that, you just feel that. And tomorrow I will be talking about it. We have 4 love has 4 different ways. First, when we meet person, and we need to have a physical connection with them. For men especially, they have to have a desire that the woman is beautiful, and that's how they get connected. The second is emotional. The third is intellectual. And by the way, women fall in love not because you're handsome, but because you're smart. And that's how she feels that you will be able to provide and protect later in life. And the fourth is spiritual. Spiritual is when you achieved all 3. You have physical connection, you have emotional connection, you have intellectual connection. Years later, people start to connect on the spiritual connection. When they talk about God, they talk about spirituality, they want to contribute to society. They're on already very high level of spiritual being. And when they're on that level, they're not living life feeling like, okay, I need something from you or you need something from me. It's all selfless. It's selfless service to husband, selfless service to wife, selfless service to society. This is a spiritual connection. This person is already awakened. They experience God not once but many times, either in their prayer or meditation or affirmation. And I'll say it's less than 1% of the people. Yeah. Do you recommend for men to watch your content as well, or do you focus your content more on female views? I would recommend for men to watch this content. However, a lot of men are not connecting to my content because 90% of men in United States are feminine. What does this mean? Because 90% of the women became masculine. In order to make relationships somehow work with a woman, men had to become feminine because a masculine and masculine gonna just go to battle. And feminine men now don't want to go to work. They feel comfortable. Then the wife works, makes money, pays bills, and on top of it, she cooks sometimes, does grocery shopping, and drive kids around to all of the activities, even though the kids are most of the time raised in daycare and elementary, kindergarten, and etc. And so most of the men, when I say a man has to be provider, protector, and a leader, they're like, what? Do I have to be a provider and protector? So most of them don't like my content. I would say only masculine men enjoy my content, but everybody else, they're like, I have to work, I have to go to the gym, I have to become a masculine, I have to pay for everything. I don't like it. And so if your man will be open for it, great. But a lot of men, they resist, they scream and yell like, I don't want to provide. Because the society is degraded. Yeah, if I'll see more men watching my videos, I'll record more videos for men as well. But you please understand that if a woman gonna start changing, she's gonna be impacting a relationship and marriage more. So a woman must learn and understand men. A man will never understand women because we women are too complicated. Too complicated. Men are very simple, actually. Very, very simple. And so the more you're gonna learn about men, the more you will be able to influence them. But for them to understand us, no, it's impossible. So don't expect if you're gonna watch the videos, he's gonna become what you're expecting of him. Concentrate on changing you. Yeah, that's what I will recommend. See, my husband was like that until I stopped working. It is true. Thank you. It is also easier to give men respect if they are wiser and provider. Yes, and that's why a woman should date a man for at least 6 months or so before jumping with him in bed. She needs to get a ring. They have to be in exclusive relationship. She even considers having sex. And that's when she learns, is he a provider? Is he pays for lunches, dinners, concert, movies? Does he take her out? And this is a big step that she needs to understand. Is he this type of man that she wants to even marry and have a family with? And then, is he a protector? Protector means, does he listen to her when she has a difficult days, stresses at work? He basically has to protect her not from someone attacking her outside, but from her emotions. Can she cry on his shoulders when she's going through a difficult period in life? Not like every day, but maybe like once in a while. But by the way, woman should not share her challenges until the stage number 3 or ideally 4. But again, all of the stages we're going to discuss tomorrow on the masterclass, how to create 6 stages, how to create a happy and lasting relationship with a man. And so going back to your question, yes, it's easy to respect a wiser and provider, but you will attract him only if you're a woman who is wise and feminine, who is loving, kind, humble, compassionate, and etc. Otherwise, you're not going to even attract a man like that. Fully connecting and learning a ton. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What is really wrong with Christian marriages? Where do we fall short? I don't like to talk about different faith because I don't want to open up the can of worms, but I will tell you one thing. The biggest challenge that I see in Christianity is that most women are relying on this proverb. I can't remember, I think it's 31st, which says a woman has to help a man. A woman has to do this for men and that for men and that for men. And so now women who are in Christian faith feel like, well, if my man is broke, I must help him. If my man is not working, I have to help him. And that's why a woman is so confused by this 31st proverb that she thinks that now she has to bend herself and do both, being a mother and being a husband and going to work and do it at all. And that's where there's no clarity there. And I rely more on the relationship, on the Vedic knowledge that comes from India, where there's a clear defined lines. What is the husband's duty? What is the woman's duty? What is the daughter's duty? Father's duty, son's duty, and etc. And so, my friends, we cannot say this religion or that religion is good or bad, but I'm just relying on that spiritual sacred books that is more clear and defines it better. But again, when a person prays, and when the person meditates or does affirmation, he gets all these answers from God himself. And so, again, a lot of pastors and priests are clearly confusing people with this proverb than helping families. That's what I will say. Don't spoil men, it's emasculating. Depends on what you mean spoiling, because a woman is rational in a marriage. And sometimes she does need to spoil a man by acknowledging him, by appreciating him, and by being proud of him. This is how a woman really spoils her man, and that's how a man becomes even more masculine, a better provider, and a better protector, and a better leader. But a woman should never spoil a man financially. I will say a woman should not ever buy a gift more than $30 to a man, even if she's CEO, which is, again, I against women being CEOs and lawyers and surgeons in the first place, which women really dislike my content, some, and messages. Because again, when a woman has the money, she is like a man. And if she's like a man in her masculine energy, she's just going to attract a feminine man. And then she buys him expensive car, expensive video games, computers, and etc. And the man, yeah, thank you. And that's what emasculating men. And they feel like they're more and more like women. Yeah. Require marriage to move in with men. Well, it's not a requirement. If you're saying requirement, that's also going to push men away. If you're feminine, if you're gentle, if you're kind, and if you're humble, man would want to date you. He would want to take you to restaurants, concerts, to get to know you. And if you're not sleeping with him, he would want to invest even more and even more and even more to get to know you. And again, he will do that if you're worthy, if you're kind and feminine. And once you get engaged, yes, if you have to have sex, at least then. But ideally, yes, until marriage. And that's the way to create a healthy foundation for a relationship that will last. And everything, if you rush, it's not going to sustain. If you're just building a relationship on the sex, eventually 2-3 years later, you're going to get tired of each other. And then what? What? You have no trust, no communication, no friendship. How is your relationship going to sustain? Even if you have kids, so what? It's not a guarantee that your relationship gonna stand. And that's why 90% of the relationship and marriages fail. So if you're interested to be in the program tomorrow, 6 stages, how to create a happy and lasting relationship with a man, and how to fix your current relationship and marriage, I highly recommend for you to be in the master program tomorrow. If you're interested, find me on Instagram or send me a message here, and I'll be happy to register you. My friends, I'm not doing it for money, but I understand if I give it for free, people don't value it as much. A week or 2 weeks later, for free, 1.5 to 2 hours on YouTube. But if you want to be there and interact and learn with me and other women. I will see you tomorrow on Zoom. But again, let me know if you're interested, and I hope to see you tomorrow. If not, I'll see you next week or in a few weeks. Namaste, my friends. I love you. Thank you for being here, and thank you for sharing yourself authentically. Bye.